Hello, hello, welcome back to Beth will be reading. This is a welcome back to me too, because I have not posted in almost 2 years. But it only makes sense that my comeback video would be about the TikTok sensation daggermouth. Let's give it up for daggermouth. Let's give it up for daggermouth. I started this book about 4 or 5 days ago, and I finished this over 20 hours ago. And I have to put it out into the void what I loved about this book, because Book Talk had it right, folks. This was a 6-star, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 7, a high number, more than a 5-star. Okay, this was so good. And if I convince you, if you clicked this video and you haven't read the book, but you've heard people talk about it, and after watching this, I convince you to read it, let me know in the comments, because it'll be like a fun game for this video. So, to start off, you might be asking yourself, what is Daggermouth about? Well, this is a dark dystopian romance. This takes place in a continent called Newfound Haven. We follow Shadra, who is a mercenary. She is an orphan. She is a daggermouth. She has been done wrong by society. She lives in poverty. People are fighting for their lives to get food, to be fed. Meanwhile, the elites of this world live in the heart. President Maximus Cyril is the one in charge and the one who is making people starve and being a complete dictator, to be honest. No shocker. So, Shadra works for the Wolf's Head, aka Jigger. And Jagger basically gives her a contract that was given to him to, you know, the president's son, Grayson. Grayson is our male main character, our morally gray, beautiful main character, who is the executioner. He, every morning, goes and think of like guillotines in the medieval times for anybody that is rebellion. Think of, honestly, Maximus Cyril as like Henry VIII, and his children in this they have no choice but to be complicit in his crimes. So Shadra gets this contract, and she's motivated to do this because who left her to be an orphan? No one other than Maximus Cyril, the f***ing dictator that we have in charge of this whole world. He got her parents. So she's like, yeah, bet, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this. So she goes, and also, she's picked for this specifically. Jacob picks her specifically because she is the baddest of mercenaries, okay? So she goes and she does the attempt, but what ends up happening is Grayson and Shadra end up engaged. And through this engagement, they find out they have a common enemy. And you follow that story along. This book also has other point of views. Callum, Grayson's best friend, who in the heart is basically in charge of the entertainment, the clubs, the stuff like that. Also morally gray. Then there's Lyra, who's Grayson's sister, who is the media PR person. That's her role in dealing with her dad, the dictator's crimes. And she's also morally gray. And then there's Jager, like I said, the Wolf's Head. He's the charge of like the Daggermouths. Then there's Jameson, who is Shadra's best friend, who's in love with her. But this isn't that kind of love triangle. If you're listening to this and you're like, oh god, I don't want to deal with the love triangle. It's not really. He's her best friend. He's her best friend. There's also Alara. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but that's Grayson and Lyra's mother, who is married to the dictator Maximus Cyril. So those are our key characters in this book. Now, what did this book do right? Okay. It did a lot of things right. So all of these characters are in their late 20s, early 30s, and the president and the people who are, Wolf's Head in charge of things, they're a little bit older, 40s and 50s. So what does that mean? That means we have a dystopian, folks, where frontal lobes are developed. Decisions, they are made rationally. There is no emotion. I mean, there are emotions into play, but if you were someone like me who has read so many YA dystopian books and have enjoyed them and understand if you're 17 and you're put in this circumstance, you're going to make decisions that are emotional. It's a nice change of pace to have characters that use reason because their frontal lobes are developed. And it's great. It's really great. I think Grayson's 33 or something, and Shadra's in her 30s. So it's very nice. It's a very nice pace. I really like it. Number two is, like I said earlier, there are multiple point of views. So there's a sort of found family that you get from getting these different point of views from these characters. You also follow along another romance. So there is Grayson and Shadra, but there's also Callum and Lyra. So you get their story as well. It's not as prominent, of course, as the leads in this book, but I enjoyed their seeing some of their history and their relationship. I love the main four. The main four would have to be Callum, Lyra, Grayson, and Shadra. Another thing this book does well is the way that the politics are run makes this so intriguing. There are influences from The Hunger Games, The Handmaid's Tale, and there's also influences. I can't recall the third book, so I'm going to put it somewhere. But this author makes this book her own story. You get the Hunger Games influence because there's a rebellion. Of course, there are people in this universe who are not happy with the way things are. You take away food, you take away resources, and people are going to stand up for what is right. You have people who are going hungry, all of that nature. For The Handmaid's Tale, the women are treated like crap in this book. They are treated like crap. The misogynoir from the president is honestly surreal. I don't think I've ever read a book where the villain was this hateful towards women. And the way that this is written and the way that the women are treated in this book, it really does do a good job in invoking that anger of, I just want to go in and I just want to get rid of these men who are awful, who are treating the women this way and have this stupid barbaric mindset. And it could be a lot. It could be dark. I mean, it's a dark dystopian romance. Another thing this author does well, this is the first time in a romance where I'm not 100% just in it for the romance. The politics, the way that the politics are in this book is incredible. The romance itself, they have very good chemistry. They are both extremely morally gray, damaged. They have been through so much, Shadra and Grayson. When you see their relationship blossom as they understand each other more, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I also liked that Shadra, as a main character, as this badass, showed vulnerability. There were moments of vulnerability, and when those moments would happen that were very emotional, very touching, I was like, girl, oh my gosh, I know how hard it is. Actually, I don't know what it's like to live in this world, but I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful when we got those moments. And when those moments would happen with what would transpire in this book, I thought it was incredible. I thought it was great. And as you see Grayson himself as a character, slowly as you read the book, you learn more of his story and what he's had to overcome. It's also just very beautifully written. The pain is beautifully written. The anger is beautifully written. The anger is really beautifully written. There's so much anger suppressed. What this author really got right is the emotions. Imagine living in a dystopian world. You're going to be angry and you're going to be suppressing that anger. And the way that that was conveyed in this book was so well done, so beautifully written, just so I could imagine it. I could see it. I could see it as I was reading the words off the page. I thought it was very, very good. I love that the author is a Black woman. I love that there is rise for this book. I love that this is happening during Black History Month. I hope the adaptations and everything for this book. Normally, I'm starting to not be the type of person who wants books to be adapted into TV shows or movies, but for this woman, all the rewards, all the fan art, all the adaptations, everything. I want to see her win. I like seeing her win. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you've read this book. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if I convinced you, and I will see you next time.